Hello and welcome to DPinFocus Season 2. And of course, before we go live on Kumu, of course, this story that is about to be told 2 years ago. But while we're waiting for the Kumu to be on air online live, I would like to apologize for the technical issues that has been occurred, especially last, you know, yesterday, the connection between DP24 base and Daska Cave Ball got broke, and of course, upon some sort of troubleshooting, of course, it has been determined that fiber related issue has been more likely occurred. And of course, we're not yet so sure on when these things will resume normally. But of course, as far as you all know, I have been longing for the most affordable broadband or fiber optic broadband experience. And of course, for some reason, Como does not respond. And we might have to respond right away with some sort of technical issues for the simulcast on Kumu. But of course, sooner or later, we don't like to be running late and we should go live already. And there you go. Of course, have a nice afternoon to all from Dasmariñas City, home of the Papa Festival, Durbo speaking. And of course, here's this story. 2 years ago, before the pandemic got occurred, wherein meeting new people could be more exciting. Some of you might feel more of kilig about this, but it is some sort of a risky decision that you have to undertake. And yes, this is your one and only Durbo speaking, live from Dasmariñas City, from DP24 base, and it's simulcasted all over Facebook Watch, Como, Twitch, and YouTube for the meantime, because we need to reconfigure the system if this would be sustainable for the long term. But of course, what I have been realized something 2 years ago, in which everything have changed in an instant. Hello and good afternoon, good evening, good morning to Adrian 213, Kate Medina, West Dames, Ancus 8486, and El Mendoza or just tuning in right here on Kumu. But of course, what I have been realized something is this. Sometimes life could be more challenging, and yes, of course, I have wanted to show it up to you these photos, but due to some sort of copyright reasons, I cannot show it to you. But here's this story. Whereas prior to the pandemic, I have to spend most of the time, a quality time with one another. And of course, this is where the unexpected surprise have occurred in an undisclosed supermarket location wherein I have met a woman all throughout from online. And yes, of course, she got surprised and she doesn't know what to do. Wherein all of this sudden, some sort of APA system that has been deployed per se. And yes, of course, I'm glad that I have met her for the first time, which is one of surprise meet in a uniform. And of course, since I'm a student, I have to hold into this code of conduct that is coming from the university. And yes, of course, she's glad that she have met me already. And of course, I have been into some sort of, you know, cloud 9 moment right after the photo that we have took through selfie. And yes, of course, supposedly my story have been aired on the first season, but due to some sort of technical issues and other issues that have been encountered, of course, now this the time for me to share something. And that being said, that what I have been advised from my friends coming from Feast, it says I have to be into a better position wherein love comes naturally, and yes, time will come that love would arrive at the right place and at the right time. And that's true because I have needed to develop and craft into something that would rather expand and, of course, being too resourceful and, of course, a better perspective that is needed. And right now, at this time of the new normal, better normal, which has been occurring, sooner or later, I could share my full story to all of you on when these things will going to happen, especially with my sister or co-servants rather, 7 of March 2020, that brotherless Fajardo have took this photo of all of us servants, including brother Kodas, sis Annette, and brother partner Katogayo, brother Moko, and many more. And of course, what I have been realized that we should treasure our moments, and of course, we have to go into a better perspective. And right now, as we're speaking, 597 plus hearts and it increasing, 5 viewers with me. And yes, of course, what I have realized something is this. As time passes by, I have wanted to start something brand new, but with due respect to my academics, in which I have failed last year. Of course, I have needed to take some sort of a break, especially I, I might running a 7 episode of or 9 episode of DPinFocus, 7 or 9, which is preferable, and sometimes examination could arrive at any time wherein we cannot be able to stream or broadcast live. But of course, I have wanted to share it with you, especially that I have been into all sorts of life changes, and therefore not everyone could be more understanding. So your patience and understanding is of utmost priority, in which Sometimes I might not be able to do a live episode at all. And of course, what I have realized something for the duration of the pandemic is this. I have needed to be more flexible in terms of some sort of adjustment, even though it may hurt me so bad. And of course, I have needed to take care not only on my health but also for my academics as well. I might spend a lot of time converting all sorts of problem sets into NSCP 2015, in which most of you might not understand this one. But of course, ever since that the pandemic had begun, I have missed so much all of these people are in front of me or interacting with, especially that I have been missing the Fish SM Dasma so much. Hopefully, Fish SM Dasmariñas will be able to return, and of course, I might be able to take charge of their live broadcast, and therefore be into a better position wherein I could serve more, so I could contribute into God and country. And right now, I have been going through some sort of downtimes that I have been going through this pandemic. I'm not so sure of what could it be the official diagnosis for my health state. But now, what I have been going to pour it out is to be into a better position that I could someday love someone, especially that I have been badly hurt so much during pandemic, and even though alert one has been going into effect, most of you might not be aware that I have been unable to go out everywhere, to the point that my parents disallowed me from commuting. And of course, my heart would be always be at the welfare of all people, especially into the commuting. I have been into a position wherein I have to go into walking in order for me to do all sorts of things that I have been wanted, especially long distance walking and a fun visit to one of my mom's friend. Of course, most of you might not aware that I have been experiencing anxiety and depression. And if you have missed this episode, don't forget to, or previous episode rather, don't forget to tune in to DPinFocus replay edition all over Facebook and YouTube, and look for DPinFocus replay, wherein you could be able to rewatch all of the previous episodes. And right now, I have been going into, you know, finalizing the audio pieces wherein it has to be aired all over DP24 Radio 1. So don't forget to follow DP24 Radio 1 as well on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and most podcast providers. And without further ado, hopefully, if this place would be going into alert 0, that means it is now cleared already. But as of now, Cavite, Laguna, and NCR is still under the advisory. The warning has been lifted into advisory since 1st of March, wherein we could meet face to face or in person without using all of these technologies, and that would mean my second love language, which is the quality time, apart from my first or topmost love language is the acts of service. And there you have it. It's now 16:21, 4:21 p.m. And of course, I have needed to go, especially I have to walk. And see you next week. Always remember to be safe, be well, stay sane, and try. And don't forget that even though there are more difficulties that we encounter, you are loved.